Okay, so I've got my cherry cobbler marker, and what I'm doing is I'm taking the brush end and I'm just getting into these sharp corners that I just couldn't get to with the ink. And if you don't have the marker, that's fine, because once you put the glitter on there, it actually camouflages it pretty good, but since I have it, I'm just going to go ahead and use it. So just color, get into those little nooks and crannies. Okay, all right, now we can do the other part. Okay, so put that off to the, oh, let me zap it with the heat tool real quick. Okay, so now what you're going to do, so you're going to see how I did that? My other sample, the ink was all wet, but what I did is I took my stamp pad and pressed it all, and I got most of the ink off, so that's just what's remaining. So try to dry it so that you won't ruin it. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just covering the whole front of the star, the pattern paper, with Versamark. And now I am going to cover it with the heat and stick powder. And what this does is it makes it sticky for the Dazzling diamonds to stick and to set. So just cover it completely. And then just get the excess off. So it looks like that. And if there's some edges or some spots the ink came off, you can, or the powder came off, you can just recover it again. And now we're just going to heat this up. And this is going to heat up just like embossing powder. You're going to see it transform. Okay, so now that is all sticky, now we're going to put that back into our little container, and now I'm going to sprinkle the Dazzling diamonds all over it. Okay, and then we're just going to shake off the excess, just like what we did before. Okay, now when you heat set the Dazzling diamonds, it's not going to melt like what we just saw. You'll see a very subtle shift in the glitter, but really this is more or less the way it's going to look. But you just want to zap it just a little bit, like in each spot. You'll kind of see what happens. Okay, so like I said, you don't really see it melt or anything like that. You're just heating it up just for it to be able to set. So that's the way it's going to look. So, no glitters rubbing off or anything. The glitter that you see on my fingers is just from when I put it on originally. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is just determine which point of the star we want to be the top, and I think I'm going to go with this one. And so what I'm doing now is I'm using my crocodile. You want a hole puncher that can go through quite a few layers at the same time. Is that the one? Okay. And I'm going to use, if you have a crocodile, I'm using the larger hole, and I'm just going to come in here or actually, you know what, the ribbon I'm using, I'm going to use my smaller one because the ribbon I'm going to use is thinner. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here, center it into where the point is, and just try to get a hole in the center, or in the middle of the cardstock. Okay, and there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the 1/4 inch white cotton ribbon, this right here. And so I'm just going to cut off just a little bit that I think will be enough. Now, if your hands, if the ink on your fingers is still wet, I suggest washing your hands because it will transfer to the ribbon. As you can see here, my fingers were still inky, and so it transferred to that ribbon. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take the ribbon and just fold it in half, and then in the folded part you're just going to fold it a few times or a couple of times, just enough where it's thin enough to get through the hole that you created with your crocodile or a hole punch, whatever you use to make the hole. So what I did is I used my paper piercer and helped me punch the fabric or the ribbon through the hole. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it to a length where that's enough to be able to hang on a tree, but also where it's long enough for me to be able to just to tie a flat knot. So I'm going to actually make this a little bit longer. And so what I'm doing here is just going to tie a square knot. So the way I do it is, me being left-handed, I keep the right tail down, and then I bring the left one around. And then I just feed it through, and then I make sure the tails are going the right way, and then I'm going to position this where it's going to be flat on the front. And then just twist this so that the tails will look nice. So it's going to look like that. And then what you do after that is you just cut off the tails to your desired length. I like to cut my ribbon on an angle. Let me cut this side. I cut that one a little too short. And there you go. So you can attach this to a gift package and it be part of a tag. You could, you know, string something down and say Merry Christmas and who it's to and who it's from, and then they can take this and hang this on their Christmas tree. So here are the three. There's the two that I made, and then this is the original one from the chipboard. So there you go. If y'all have any questions on any of the products that I used today, please feel free to comment below and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thanks, ladies. Have a great day. Bye.